Hi everybody, this is Michael from TeensTech.com, and here I have a review of the new Samsung Series 5 550 Chromebook, which is Google and Samsung's new laptop with the new Chrome OS, with its new Aura windowed mode, and a whole new processor and whole new hardware, and everything's just a lot better. So, speaking of specs right now, well, here's the old one. It's the old Chromebook. I did a review on it previously. It's nice, and it was good, but it was not good enough. But here we have the new one. This is the Series 5 550, where it has a new Celeron processor, up from a old Atom processor. We have 4 gigs of RAM compared to 2 gigs of RAM. We have a whole new operating system. Overall, it's just a way better. So let's go by the hardware really quickly. We have a USB port, SD card slot, Kensington locking mechanism. We have an Ethernet port, D-Link, USB. We have a headphone and microphone, and lastly, a power outlet jack thing. Samsung logo, Chrome logo. See, it's nice and pretty. You can focus on that. And you can see we have a little tapered edge right here, so like a MacBook-esque design. I like this a lot. It's very similar to like an Ultrabook, a little thicker, but for only $450, it seems like quite a deal for such a good hardware. We have 2 speakers for very good sound. If it's on your lap, it's all good, but if you cover this up, the sound gets muffled quite a lot. The material itself is plastic, but it does feel like a very good laptop. I could have thought that it was in metal by looking at it, but without looking at it, you would think it's metal, pretty much. Let's open things up. I'm sorry. It's going to boot up for us, I believe. I hope not. Yeah, whatever. We'll see. It looks quite thin in this way. I like it. It doesn't bend back far enough for me, the angle, but it does for most situations. I'm used to Max 201, which opens up all the way, as most ThinkPads do. Let's see. We have a very nice trackpad. This is the best I've seen other than the Mac, which is quite outstanding. Keyboard's very good. Presses, and it works well. We have a special keyboard for Chromebooks as himself. We have forward and back, refresh, full screen, switching tabs, switching windows, and the normal brightness and volume. Lastly, we have the search button. Rather than a caps lock button, as most laptops have, other than Chromebooks, Google put in a search, because they're into search, as Google.com is a search engine, and they want the cloud to be the future. You can see Intel inside, as the Celeron Sandy Bridge processor says so. Looking at the front, we have a very good, nice matte display with a 300 nit brightness. So you can see the reflection doesn't go off on it, which is very good. The same display as the old one, which was still a very good display. Its angles are not great, but for $450, it's a steal. Bezel overall is good. It's as good as anything a little bit cheaper than a MacBook. MacBooks have a tiny little better bezel, but the Samsung is kind of large on the bottom, but whatever. It is still a very slim and small laptop. So now, let's go and let's show you the speed, and let's show you on the OS a tiny bit. So I'm going to turn this off all the way. So you can see right there, but light is not on. It's entirely off. Not even hibernation, it's all the way off. Let's turn it on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about 4.5 seconds that it just booted up there, which is great. My X2 with a solid-state drive booted up in about 30 seconds. The old Chromebook Series 5 first generation booted up in about 8 seconds. This is a 4.5, so it's super great for a cheap laptop. And that's due to the thin client that Chrome OS is. So you can see right here, I'm going to try something new. Let's see. Let's just bring you down here so you can look at the device. I'm sorry, 1 second. Here we go. Okay. So, as you can see right here, we have a login screen. You have the option to either choose your username, super simple, or a guest. Let's say you gave it to somebody else and you don't want them to have your information, you just press guest. So we'll be a guest today. Press enter, and there we're in. You will see right here, we're in incognito mode. So the old Chrome OS was purely like this. It was a Chrome window, and that was it. But now, with the new Aura update, we have windowed mode, which is like Windows. As you can see, you can drag things off. You have the snap side on the side. You can enlarge it all the way. Let's see. You can actually. You can just go side and all that. What's cool is they've added to the windowed is this new like move side by side, and they both edit to fit the proportion of how you want the windows to be shaped. So say you're writing a paper and it'll be larger on the side for the writing, and then you want it to be smaller for the research, you can do that. You can see down at the bottom, bring it up closer a little bit, down at the bottom, actually it's good. You have a like task bar, much like in Windows 7 and Windows 7, partially in Windows 8, and actually partially in Mac. So you have the taskbar, you can press Chrome or your other apps. Here you have a wallpaper if you were logged in. You can see right here, it's like a 3-4 dot thing. It's like a launch pad for Chrome. So if I was, I'll log into my account, right, just 1 second. You have all your apps sitting right there. So the way Chrome OS works is, rather than just like turning it off, hold down the power button, when you start holding down, the window actually zooms out. So if I hold on for a small amount, it zooms out to closing. While if you were logged in, you can zoom out partially just to log out. And then you can zoom out more to shut down. So that was its whole boot up. Here, I'll log in right here. Okay, I'm in. And now I am logged in. So you can see right here I have a nice picture of an elephant. It's very pretty. I have a taskbar right here, which with my apps, so I can actually drag apps and move them all I'd like. Here's my launch pad. It's called a launcher, I guess. It's like the launcher in an iPhone or an iPad or an Android device, and even in the new Mac OS Lion. So I have all my apps here, Angry Birds, whatever I want. Now, some of these are not truly apps. Some are just links, and some of them need internet, some of them don't. Offline Google Mail does not. Google Music does. Playbooks do not. So you sometimes need internet on this device, and that's part of the whole cloud computing. That's fine with me, because all my stuff is in the cloud. I don't own a single file other than my photos, which are all going to the cloud because of Google+. So if you use the cloud with Google Docs and all that stuff, you should be fine with this device. It can fit 99% of your needs. So let's see, on open games. It'll not open it in the browser. It'll open games within Google Web Store. We'll close that. So Google pretty much mixed a bunch of OSs. So we have, as I said here, a mix between the taskbar and in Windows 7 and in Mac OS X, and then we have the background as in Windows 7 or Mac OS X. This thing goes up and down like in Windows 7. And then down here you have like a notification center for Honeycomb or ICS on Android tablets. You press that, and there's like information right there. We can change settings. So it's like almost the same as Android, which is pretty cool. You can connect different Wi-Fi's. You can shut down all from right here. Settings is streamlined, and this is pretty much exactly the same as Chrome in a PC. For me, it's much fluider. I'm sorry. On my Core i5 quad-core computer on my desktop, it is that thing gets about 300 milliseconds for SunSpider, while this thing gets 500. So it's not far off, and that thing was about $1,500 to build. So I can show you a little more functions, I guess. We'll do a SunSpider test. It doesn't take long, just for you guys to see like how quick. Like, look at this. Everything's quick. Everything works just as what you would expect. While the old Chrome OS was really just a little lagging. It worked, but things slow down. Here, everything's just super smooth as long as you want to do the web. Here we have the battery life. So the battery life on this device isn't great. I mean, it's great, but not great. Compared to the old device, compared to this thing got 10 hours battery. It was like an iPad or an Android phone. It lasted all day. I could leave it off or leave it on and on standby, and it would last a month. This, on the other hand, because it has more power, it only lasts about 6 hours, which is very good for a laptop, but nothing compared to the old Chromebook. So I'm quite upset about that, but its speed is just amazing. So you can see right here, I'm getting 558. My Sun Spider is 558, which is very good. I get 1900 on my Android tablet, and I think it's about 1600 on the iPad. So for about the same price, you get a much faster browser. Let's look at the battery. Another issue I see is the webcam isn't great, but it's good. It's as good as some laptops, but now that we're going to more HD and the internet's going a lot faster, we should be having a better webcam. Lastly, we have the free Verizon. So if you opt into getting the more expensive, $100 more expensive Chromebook, Google actually made a partnership with Verizon to get free 100 megabytes a month of data with 3G on each device. So if you buy this device, you're automatically for 2 years getting free Verizon internet for those quick needs. And because this is a very internet-based device, it is helpful. So let's say you're on a business trip and you need the Wi-Fi in the hotel isn't working, or you're on a car ride and you need internet. This will let you go to, let's say, I believe it's like 1,000 web pages and maybe like 5 minutes of YouTube. But if you need to get a document of sorts, this will work. We also have you also have a file manager, which is quite nice. So let's go to Files. It's really becoming a real OS. So you can see right here, I have all my files. These are real documents on this hard drive. You also have Google Drive integration, which I haven't getting to work, but supposedly people are getting to work. And this is in a developer mode. Oh, here we go. It's working. So here I have all my Google Drive documents. I can drag between my desktop and my documents and everything. So yeah, Google Drive is fully integrated, which is really nice. It means you don't actually need a hard drive. That's about that. So I'm going to tell you exactly if you should buy this laptop. Most people I know are on the web all the time. You use your computer for Facebook, use your computer for email, and use your computer for some online games of sorts and for news. But most people I know don't use a computer for true productivity outside of just writing a few documents. And all these things, as long as for most people it's on a desktop, they need internet. So why not just have a device that just does internet? You would not lose much function by getting this device, and you'd save a lot of money, and you'd have a faster, easier device to use. If anything goes wrong, if you break your device, you buy a new one, and everything works. Everything is just simpler and better. So if you're like me and everything's in the cloud, get this device. It works. If you use Google Docs, use this. If you use Google Music, use this. If you have a desktop and all you do is a browser, get the Chromebook, which is a $300 device that is super fast and super nice and super small. It's like a Mac Mini, and it can do so much. But if you like to use Photoshop, you like to make music, if you like to be super productive and play Diablo 3, whatever you like, games you like to play, don't get this device. But it is a good complementary device that's super nice, and I like it a lot. The laptop's good, and I think Chrome is the future. You want a web-based laptop, and I think the world is only becoming a more online world. Another good thing is Google's new native API for the new applications. Many are becoming more offline, and as people become more adopted, there'll be more offline applications. You can see right here, here is the web store. There are a lot of apps, and I think about 2% of them are offline, but still 2% of a lot is a lot. And people are really, companies are understanding that the web is the future and that we really need to embrace it. So the web app stores, I think, will become as large as an app store on a mobile device, because I think the web is the future. So hit up in the comments what you guys think about Chrome OS and Chromebooks. What do you think about this laptop, and whether you guys are Mac or Windows fanboys, or if any of you guys are becoming Chrome fanboys. Never heard of those people, but there might be some. So subscribe to Teens Tech Reviews and visit teenstech.com for more news and reviews in the latest tech world.